show on the radio, 941 on AM 970 The Answer. I'm so proud to have Lex Howard with us, son of Dr. Douglas Howard. Lex, good to see you again, man.
It's good to see you, always.
Thanks for everything that you did with Balance of Nature. You know, I don't. This is not a commercial. This is, you have become family now at this point.
We agree.
And we're honored. And I love your dad. I love your mom. The way your mom explained how I don't need Pycnogenol anymore.
Yeah.
How cool was that at lunch, man? That it's in here already, really, which I love. And can I say hi to Parley? Talk to the microphone right there. Talk right into the mic. Say hi, handsome.
Hi.
How you doing, pal? You with Dad, hanging out with Dad?
Hmm.
This is so cool, you know. And how old are you now?
I'm 8.
You're 8? You like traveling around with Dad?
Yeah.
Do you like... Now, you're from Utah, right?
Yeah.
It's beautiful out there. What do you think of New York City?
Yeah, I like it.
It's a little crazy, isn't it, though? I always worry when I bring my kids to New York. There's so much going on, you know. Stay close to Dad. You'll be fine like that.
That's right.
And welcome. It's great to have you here, Parley. Great to... And tell Jace we said hi. Would you do that?
Yeah.
You're a beautiful family. We love it. Hey, Alexa, so thanks for everything, man. Everything going good?
Yeah, life's great.
Yeah, I don't know how you're keeping the this Balance of Nature is just exploding only because you've been on AM 970 The Answer.
That's
hello.
right.
Hello, lady.
We do love The Answer for sure.
Oh, man.
And sincerely do. I mean, my family has especially my parents have learned to just love you, Joe.
Oh my gosh, that makes me feel so good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And Jace talks about going on the radio with you all the time. Tells all of his friends about it. Yeah.
I'm honored because it comes from the heart. And when I talk to your dad, and I'm a hypochondriac. You're watching and you're listening, you know. I worry about everything. What am I eating? What am I doing? And trying to stay healthy and try to maintain the energy. So when your father knows every answer to this, were you a kid? Tell us when you were a kid and your father started to come up with the concept of this whole wellness with Balance of Nature.
Yeah, sure. I mean, a lot of people wonder why I run the business now, you know, and they think it's just a business that was kind of handed down to the son, and that's the way that it worked. But I had a lot of other interests as a kid, and but with time, watching my dad help so many people, it just became kind of a part of my blood, you know, and I have a lot of passion for art and for organization and those kinds of things, and I never thought I would ever do something like this. But as a kid growing up, for example, I don't know if the listeners realize, but Dr. Howard had a thriving chiropractic business in northern Utah, up in Salt Lake City, and this nutrition just wasn't really a part of that world. This was in the early 90s, and he had promised a medical doctor that he had worked with growing up that he would go back to medical school at one point in his life, and so that's what he did. He in 96 he went to Russia, and he went to medical school in Russia.
Wow.
And it was just after the wall had come down. I guess he started in 93 is when he started school, and was going back and forth, and he decided he got so sick of having to go back and forth by himself that he decided to just pick up the whole family and go. So we moved to St. Petersburg, Russia, went to public school.
Isn't that wild, though, man?
I was 8 years old, the same age as Parley.
Wow.
Is now, and to see socialism, really communism, and that attitude was still in the minds of the people at that point in time.
Yeah.
It really didn't just ingrain my foundation in really politics too, but also just how we need to take care of people and love people. And I didn't realize how much that was a part of me until later in life. In my teens, I served a mission for our church, and I had served in Chicago, and I really learned to just love, period.
Yeah, I want to talk about growing up in Russia, but if we can, talking about Lex Howard, who is the son of Douglas and Sue Howard, our friends who bring to us Balance of Nature, and Lex now runs the company, which is a great family organization here. You went to the very dangerous side of Chicago.
Yes,
where
I did.
To this day, you know, and you were doing a mission for your church. Tell us about that. You being, you know, this guy from Utah, man, in the south side of Chicago.
Yeah, well, a lot of guys from Utah go on mission.
But the south side of Chicago, that's a whole nother ballgame, man. Tell us about that. How were you received there?
Well, as a believer in Christ, they receive you really well, actually.
Really?
Yeah, even though you're the only guy on the street, that you're definitely set apart from the rest of the group.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
a white shirt and tie, walking the streets.
Oh man.
But you know what?
Hi, I'd like to help you. Come in there. You're a young guy.
You learn how much
Yeah.
people love each other.
God bless
and
you,
how
yeah.
much the
Oh.
media that we watch today is just full of it. It's not true. I mean, we will take care of each other constantly, and anytime that any missionary really
Yeah.
started to receive any kind of problem,
Yeah.
people would just come out of the woodworks and just come and help and do anything that they could.
You were there
And
2 years.
2 years, that's right.
It's
yeah.
amazing, man.
Yep.
I
Just
sold
knocking on doors and
Yeah.
trying to sell the hardest product there is to sell, which is God, right?
Yeah.
And that helped me understand that I love sales. That helped me understand that I love people, and I'm concerned for them. And then it kind of pulled that experience of Russia into my life. And coming home from my mission, I saw what was going on with Balance of Nature. My dad had now run the company for about 10 years, but he's a scientist, and he's a scientist through and through.
Yeah.
He stopped his practice because so many of his patients were talking about it all the time, and he came to a point where either I continue to do chiropractics
Yeah.
or I
Yeah.
leave
Yeah.
chiropractic
Yeah.
and do this. I can't do them both at the
Yeah.
same time.
Yeah.
So he did that for about 10 years, and he was plateauing. And I saw that in his letters to me as a missionary.
Yeah.
And I went, wow, I need to go home and really get involved in the business. And that's when that change really happened.
Did you go to Russia and live in Russia? You actually lived in Russia.
Yeah, we
right?
lived there for 2 years.
And you went to a Russian-speaking school.
Yeah,
correct?
public school. Yeah.
Did you pick that up? Like, that seems like such a tough language.
You know what? I'm so ashamed to say, but
What?
I've lost it. But I did speak fluently as a kid.
It's fluent when
Yeah.
you were a kid.
Yep.
The Russian. And as Americans, they accepted you, even though after Gorbachev and...
You know what? I got to say, Joe,
Yeah.
I definitely I remember there was a day in school where a kid spit on me. And he would spit on me because, for whatever reason, just truly that was I experienced racism.
Yeah.
In a sense, and I got in a fight with the kid.
Whoa.
And I punched the kid, and he punched me back, and whatever. And my dad said to me, hey, you don't realize who that kid is, or whatever. And I came home, and we went to parent-teacher conference probably a month later.
Yeah.
And his dad was mafia through and through.
Oh, you mean the
Through
Russian
and through.
mob?
Yeah.
Oh, oh.
Totally.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. It was awesome.
Oh, gosh.
But
You
but
talked
yeah.
it down and everything?
Yeah.
Oh.
But that is a perfect example of
Oh,
how
my Lord.
we can experience. We talk about racism in
Yeah.
this country.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. We don't have. And then I went and served in Chicago, and racism is not the problem.
Thank
we
you.
do not
Thank you.
have
Thank
racism
you.
issues in this. I
Yeah.
also have a guy that works for me that's from South Africa.
Yeah.
And he came to me. He's a white guy. He
Yeah.
came to me and he said, "Hey, you have no idea. Americans have no idea what racism is.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, it's more created in the media, isn't
Yep.
it? You could really feel
100%.
that. Yeah. What I love about your father, before we let you go, Lex, is that he really pinpointed how it was a wellness approach to medicine.
Yeah.
Very unusual. Not a homeopathic, but a wellness approach. To come up with this, where you would just take fruits and vegetables, put in how it's so basic, but it's so smart. And I don't think if I wasn't a cancer survivor, I wouldn't have known that,
Yeah.
And what was the and I think he told me before, but just to remind us, what was the light that went off in his head to say, wait, we could just put this, get fruits and vegetables, encapsulate it, and make it into a product? Was that in Russia that he came up with that?
It was in Russia, yeah. So you had the socioeconomic issue. You had diseases that were suddenly coming back that you hadn't
Right.
seen
He said
for
that.
a long
Right.
time.
Right.
And they found that if they could just get people to eat fruits and vegetables, that they would be healed. But you had money issues. Their money was worth nothing, so that they couldn't buy anything. And so they had to prescribe it. They had to get their patients to do it that way. So then he got excited about America because he said, well, if we have problems directly related, then we have to do that. So anyways, he came back to the U.S., and we have the same problem. It's just the opposite. We all make too much money.
Yeah.
And so we like to eat steak and potatoes every day.
Yeah, I know.
So we had to make an easier way.
Is the answer, balance of nature. Lex, thank you. And Parley, thank you for being here, bud. Where are you going next? Are you going to, so I know you and Dad and Mom kind of go around town. What are you going to see later? Do you know? What are you thinking?
You going on a cruise?
Oh,
Yeah, we're going on a cruise.
are you going on the cruise tonight with
Yeah,
us?
I'm
Oh,
going with you
this
guys.
is going to, you know what? We're going to be, you're going to see my kids tonight. This was going to be a secret, but I'll let you know. Parley, we're going to see my kids tonight step on stage, and they're going to sing. Wait till you hear my kid play the guitar.
Joe's singing.
Yeah, we're going to have a ball.
Awesome.
Oh, it's going to be great. Great to see you, Parley. Keep up the great work. And Lex, God bless you, brother. Thanks for all that you do, man. And my love to the family, indeed. Lex Howard right there from Balance of Nature 952.